A whole new world, a new spastastic point of view. Out where the flowers grow, but no one goes, 'cause you might catch the flu. A whole new world, don't you dare rub your eyes, 'cause you might just go fucking blind. As we all sit at home and feel alone, let me share this whole new world with you. Let me share this whole new world. God damn. And smoking. So I smoke a lot, and just somehow, ain't no amount of lemon juice or honey gonna give it to you, honey. If you ain't got it, the money, you ain't got it. So just think it through next time before you wanna try belting at the goddamn karaoke. Anyway, welcome. This is episode 3 of TSIME. TSIME with the silent T. And, yeah, what rhymes with Simey? I don't know. Sign me up, baby. Go down to the subscription spot, and when you see it, I want you to think to yourself, sign me up. Sign me up, bitch. I'm clip, and then, there's a little bell there. You hit the bell. See, here's a secret to the bell. Like, you could mute all the other fuckers that you don't want. You could just have them not clicked. And then, like, whenever your boy comes through, you get a special notification. I want to buzz in your pocket every time I upload something. I want you to get a little special tingly surprise. You know what I mean? I want your pocket to vibrate or maybe light up a little bit. You know what I mean? Put a little thinking, shaking your bacon. Get that thigh excited. It's rare. It's very rare that That's why it's nice to have a girlfriend or something. Because when does anybody ever touch your armpit? They never do. Yeah, that's a weird thing. But honestly, that's just how I feel. Sometimes I think about super weird shit, and I just be running with it. I don't know, man. I got my own agendas in life, to be quite frank, and I don't know what they are. Somebody needs to tell me. Like, I wish I could have somebody just analyze my life and tell me kind of like what I should be doing. Because, to be honest, sometimes I make some pretty silly mistakes, like, I was trying to be more cultural recently, and to be honest, if you're white, like, one of the, like, least useful cultures to copy would be the Australian culture. But I gave it a shot anyway, man. And let me tell you what, if you take a Barbie and you put like a shrimp on it, it just looks like some weird fetishy sex thing. Like, hey, shrimp on the Barbie. Yeah, I just, and crikey. I never really figured out when to say crikey. So I say it at, like, the weirdest fucking moments, like somebody, like, orders a pack of gum. Crikey! And they ask me, how many creams I want with my coffee, and I just say, crikey, I'd like 8. And then they look at me like, 8? God, isn't that excessive? How many creams and sugars do you order in your coffee? And when you have to get it from somebody behind the bar? And do you ever feel like you're going overboard when you ask them for 10 or 15 of something? Anyway, that's a question for you guys. You can just drop the answer right down below. I'll read them out. I'll go through and, like, find some of the cooler comments and just read them out to you guys. I was contemplating going through my Facebook, because sometimes that's just the weirdest thing to do, Just go through there and just see all of the weirdness that goes on, And it's funny to see how like people that you grew up with, like party animals, are all serious right now. And they're all acting like super woke and super like in it to like for the moral aspects of life. When I knew everybody growing up, and come on, you guys were fucking like rabbits. You were fucking each other like rabbits. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put myself out of the mix. Obviously, I'm not putting myself out of the mix. But here's what happens: you're young, you do a lot of crazy shit, and then you grow out of it, right? Unless you got a bunch of tattoos and piercings when you were young, and then you kind of can't grow out of that, and then you feel kind of silly later on in life, so you just like stick to being weird, and you can't go back to being normal unless you get a lot of laser surgery. But that's cool too. That's cool too. Weird tattooed old ladies are cool. I enjoy looking at them. I don't know why, but I do. Speaking of old ladies, Jesus, man, I heard this old lady who plays the piano. I would suggest anybody just go look this up. This is an amazing lady, man. Her fingers are like crooked from playing the piano for so many years. So crooked that it looks almost like a velociraptor's hand. Just look up old lady street pianist. Don't forget the ah, because then it's just pianist. Ugh. Anyway, man, this like, yeah, I've been trying my best to like open my eyes to lots of things that I didn't used to open my eyes to. I was pretty much a lone wolf forever. Anybody who knew me, they remember I used to run around with a guitar on my back and a trench coat, and I always smoked weed. Just never stopped smoking weed, except for a brief period of my life, which I can't even picture now when I look back for it. It's this moment of just being something else. I was somebody else. I wasn't this, that's for sure. I did have on a tie. My hair was trimmed neatly. I was part of the faculty. And I was useful. I was needed. But some people just aren't cut out for that. Some people aren't made for it and aren't able to. And I definitely can concede that there was a time in my life where I should have stepped up to the plate, way quicker. I should have swung way harder, and I didn't, but I was a damaged soul, man. We're all damaged souls. There's no real excuse for not being able to fix your life, but let's face it, we all come from a place of damage, a place of confusion, sometimes a place of regret, and thank God for all the good parents out there who raised their kids as best as they could, and you could tell they did it out of love or whatever. But god damn all the other parents, man, who just like population, like multiplication does a lot of things for society, because you really think about the percentage of people who are going to be good at things as opposed to the percentage of people who may just in fact be useless. I don't think that would really matter if there was a group of 100 people, honestly. But when we're talking about 1 billion people, and then multiply that by 6, almost 7, well, you've got a very tiny portion of people that are trying to keep all of the rest alive. and everybody else is just kind of stuck on their own thing. I don't know where they're going with their lives. I don't know what they're thinking of doing. But I personally was like, okay, I'll make books and then I'll go into digital media and I'll keep doing these things like, and I'll make it happen like the right way. From a business standpoint, I'll be legit. And I mean, what's less legit than being unemployed and sitting in your house talking on YouTube? There's not much you're going to do with that, you know, so I tell you what, I mean, it's up to you guys to do something with it for real. It's up to each and every one of us to kind of figure out what we want to do from here on out. Because this should be a wake-up call, you know what I mean? Regardless of whether COVID-19 was created by people who ate bats or whether it was planted in China and meant to spread to the places that it's spreading to, which the United States is on that list, guys, by the way. There's a bunch of places that don't have it. United States does, and so does China, and so does Iran, you know. But it's funny because all the places around China, what is it, Pakistan and Russia? No, it's almost like they were forewarned in advance or something. Like, hey, lock down all of your airports and shit now, so you guys don't get sick. Huh. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'm pretty much an idiot when it comes to politics and conspiracies and shit. Like, you know, I was talking with my buddy Virtue in the last podcast. He doesn't like it when I call him Virtue, but I knew him as Virtue only for so long. And if he does manage to get me to stop calling him Virtue, I'm taking the name Virtue. And I'm just going to be Virtue. I don't even want to be. I don't want him not to be. I mean, he has to be. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just kidding, Jahan. You can calm down and not be fuming at the camera right now. So I gotta figure out where that was located from, because Jesus Christ, the name of every episode should be "So Where Were We?" Because it's so easy to get lost. You know what I mean? But anyway, I know right where I was. It's just funny how you can almost lose it. But yeah, just last night I was talking to Jahan about conspiracies and stuff. And I feel like there is a conspiracy, because conspiracy is a very definable word. And to make the word conspiracy a dirty word seems to be like something that a conspirer would want to do. You know? Oh, there's something in my eye. Oh, there we go. It's early. I know what that is in my eye. It's not corona. It's sleepy. Yep. Got little jewels of sleep. Little dream jewels. That's what they are. Yep. When you dream, you create jewels on the side of your eyes, and you have to like rub them and get them out in the morning, you know. Do they have a tissue or a sanitary wipe? Comment below. Is there something specifically that like girls use or people use that I don't know about to wipe the boogers out of your eyes? The eye snot? The fucking pus that pours out of your fucking eyeballs while you're sleeping? Jesus Christ, man. People can't stop leaking, can they? People just leak and leak and leak. I mean, nobody can deny it either. Everybody bought a bunch of toilet paper, right? Band-Aids are a thing. My survival kit, I have Band-Aids in case I'm leaking, right? You know, at some point, some people get like so old that they just leak and have to wear like diapers again. You know what I mean? That's just a thing, man. People are just, and now, okay, we're sick, right? Coronavirus time. What's everybody doing? We're leaking everywhere. Every time I sneeze, every time I cough, this fine mist goes into the air. There is a cloud of people juice around us at all times. A cloud of people snot and spit that we can't hardly even fucking like detect. I smell it a lot, man. Sometimes I'll walk outside and it'll just smell like the street has been spit on like a trillion times. Like over the years, people walking past that street, they have spit on every inch of that sidewalk. Every inch of that sidewalk has spit like loogie boogers, man. These things get, and then they all kind of pour down when it rains. They just pour off to the side and into that little crack. You know? I think about this stuff all the time, man. Like, people leak. I'm out in D.C., and over by my job, there's a good little spot to poop and pee if you're homeless, you know? And boy, oh boy, man, it must be one of many, because I work right next to a recycling company. So when I go out back of my shop, that there are dumpsters there. And these are the people that go around DC and clean up everything. I mean, they empty all the trash cans on the streets. And I have seen so many piles of poop that disappear. They're there in the morning when I'm coming in, and they're gone when I'm leaving for lunch. So somebody is scooping up that human feces. And where's it going? It's going into these large dumpsters that are behind my building. So when I come outside, the back, that's all I smell. You know, there's a mechanics to this whole smelling thing. Like, if you smell something, it's because that thing has released particles into the air. You know, fumes that are wafting around. And then the particles of that thing go into your nostrils. You're tasting everything you smell, man. It's just like... That's why people hate smelling farts, because you just got some fart in you. Like, uh-oh. Motherfuckers are going to be, like, snorting hand sanitizer after this. Taking shots of hand sanitizer. I got to keep my throat clean, man. I don't want to catch the corona, you know what I mean? And isn't it fucked up that they named it coronavirus? It's like... You know, by the way, they named it that shit years ago, bro. We've known about Corona for a long time. Like, it's on the Lysol bottles, and everybody knows this shit already. But if you don't know it, now you know it. It was already out there. So, God, man, I don't mind. I really don't mind. We want to get sick and just spread it around. What about all those people I heard out in Florida, in Tampa or something? There was this whole like pride party, and all the people like went there like in defiance and ended up getting sick. Like, so Florida's like got a whole bunch of people with the thing. Like, I don't know all the details about that. That's something you might want to look up yourself. But let's see, the military's out in the streets in Baltimore. My thing is, it's probably going to be a lot of military cracking down in places where there's a lot of homeless people, which it's, in its own right, is a scary thing. Because let's say my shop opens back up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What if we're shut down for a month? I don't know. But let's say we open back up, and my buddy Reggie's not out there begging me for a cigarette and $1. I see him every day, you know? Every day. He lives there. He's one of the guys that poops and pees in that alleyway, you know, that I was speaking of. that one that is like so good for pooping and peeing that they do it every night. It's not really the homeless people's fault either. They don't have toilets out there, so. Yeah. Boy, man, I need some company, man. You know, having a guest on, that's all good and all, but that's just like an hour and a half or so, I didn't, I didn't think all this through. But it's not like I can't go somewhere, right? Unfortunately, the place that I want to go to, there's a lady there who's sick and she's elderly. And she's already like, having health problems. And nobody wants to let anybody in. They're on lockdown. So that's just another way that the coronavirus affects everybody. I'm not, even though I'm tempted to just have the selfish thoughts of, man, I don't get to see who I want to see and I don't get to do what I want to do. I also understand that everybody's got their own side of this and they're all going through it. Everybody's going through it in their own way, shape, or form. Some people, life is just going on and they're not even noticing, right? For other people, life completely turned off 3-4 days ago. And they don't know what they're going to do. And if you're one of those people, let me know down below. And I'll let you come in and tell your story. I'll let you come in and tell your side. If you want to just come in and talk about life, man, I don't care. You can talk about what you're doing. Whatever you want to talk about, Talk about. We could talk about what you want to talk about. I don't know, nigga, talk about something. Uh-oh, we said the N-word. Stop. Wow, I'm naughty. I am naughty. But so are some of you. I see some of you guys out there, man, just being nasty as fuck, like being bad, posting shit online that you shouldn't be posting, you know what I mean? The weirdest thing is when you see your family posting something online and it's like talking about like, a vibrator not being big enough or something. It's like, what the fuck? Or, your family posts something about like busting big nuts and you just don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, hey sis, what are you doing? It's fucking crazy. Yeah, Facebook is a wild place, and I feel like it's not that it's dying. It's just that there's other avenues now where certain crowds are disappearing to, and we're just narrowing Facebook down to being legitimately like what it was meant to be, just mail between friends, a way to get mail and messages between friends, right? I mean, Facebook can be narrowed down to Messenger, honestly. If Facebook disappeared but Messenger stuck around, everybody would be fine. They would just go to a different social media like section or go to a different site and do all their stuff there. But everything's like getting chopped in half as far as content is concerned. Like, I remember they tried to go super hard right away with Vine and be like, all right, 6-second clips. I'm like, what the fuck? And now here they've got like TikTok where it's like you're doing like little skits, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure exactly how long they can be, but they don't seem to be. And see, everything seems to be about being limits now. Facebook is one place where you can go just write an essay and post it along with a video and some links. You know what I mean? And you can't really do that anywhere else. I do have an Instagram and I do look at it. I just don't know what to put on it, and I guess like I have to kind of work on that.
figuring out just what I should be doing. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to know where to go when you don't know what to do. And I mean, if we want to talk about just beginnings of life, that's one of the biggest parts of it. You grow up and you're not guaranteed to have like a yogi for a dad. You're not guaranteed to have like a stunning family situation. It's just not a guarantee, you know. So a lot of us kind of grew up having to learn things. Oh God, that was that's weird. So my T-Mobile account was suspended. I'm not even gonna deal with that right now. They just want me to pump them some money probably, and oops, you know I don't keep up with that shit. But what if they turned off everybody's T-Mobile just now? What if everybody's all went off at the same time? I know that's highly unlikely, but I heard something about if they ever say the banks are going to be shut down, you can't get money for 3 days, or you can't get money for like a day. That means you have 3 days before like some crazy shit happens. I don't know exactly what that was. I don't do research, man. I just hear like certain things, and some things they just stick to me, and then others don't. You know, like somebody tried to sell me on the flat Earth thing, and I'm not anywhere near flat Earth. You know what I mean? I don't think anything like that. Although I do believe there's a lot of things we don't know. That's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like, I think there are a lot of things that we can't see. You know, like not only like underground things, like deep underground cavern systems that are very large, like city size large, but but things we can't see like interdimensionally. Like if you think about like string theory or something, and I don't know if anybody's into that, but imagine like if we set off a nuclear bomb here in this world and like it blew up everything, you know, but like in some other dimension, that exact same spot a nuke went off, and like and it did way more damage, like, and they don't even know why. Like, that's another example of us not being able to see what the fuck's going on. But string theory is just that, a theory. Interdimensional beings and travel and all of that, you know. What is CERN doing? Are they trying to open up a gateway to bring back the archangels? Did we find Gilgamesh's bones? Are we right now currently trying to fit them back together in a way? I guess, you know, clone him, create a human that we can't control. We're creating viruses that we can't control. Why not create a human that we can't control, right? A Megatron. No, I'm not talking Transformers. Look up Megatron. It's not just your Transformers, you know. They got the name from somewhere else. And Megatron is literally perfect. So, the epitome of what a man is supposed to grow physically and mentally to be. None of us are that, you know. That's the whole Jesus. Was that an earthquake? No. But that's the whole Jesus thing, you know, like, was Jesus a man? You know, is he a metaphor? You know, I do believe that like there was a guy, you know, and he became very popular, and popular enough for people to decide that he was going to be the one. You know, all the scholars got together, years after Christ and said, hey, he's still got a following. We'll make him the one. And then they took all of the ancient legends and everything and they just piled them onto him. They gave him 12 disciples for the solar system. He his life and death and resurrection symbolize the solstice, the turning of the seasons. It all lines up perfectly. So that's where a lot of atheists and everybody they're like, hey, obviously, if it's all perfectly lined up, then somebody just made it line up. All the facts aren't truly what they say. They changed some facts to make everything line up so they could force a narrative. Right? That's basically what we're saying Jesus is. That he was just a guy, but we say he's not just a guy. He probably had this many friends, but we say he had this many friends. Further increasing our narrative. Then we say he died and was resurrected, like further increasing the narrative. And really what's happening is we're passing the stories down through generations that will eventually be crucial to us understanding anything and being able to survive. Like any people who remember Christmas 500 years from now, let's just say there's a mass destruction, right? And humanity's taken back to rocks and piles and sticks and stones. Anybody who remembers Christmas is going to remember when everything's about to happen. Anybody who remembers Christianity is going to remember when Christmas is, the birth of Christ, which obviously that there's a bunch of falsehoods in that which furthers their narrative. You know what I mean? That he's this being. But really, they just needed a person. Because there has to be one. Every turning of the zodiac, every time we change into another age, there's going to be another person or persons elected to fill the shoes, to be the hero, to be the protagonist in this great story that we live over and over again. I'm a believer of ancient aliens. Yes, I am, And they got me because they never say no. They always say yes, and I fucking love the word yes, you know what I mean? I'm a yes man. Yes man. Let's go for a ride. There's so many things that we could try. Did you watch that movie? I watched it like 10 times. Yes man. There's something you can pull out of everything, man. I mean, I'm not the biggest... I love Jim Carrey, bro. I love Jim Carrey. I do not like certain things that he said when he started getting all political. I don't want him to try to change the face of the nation. I just like Jim Carrey, right? But boy, I watch his movies over and over again. It's one of those things, man. And like there's just certain comedians and actors and people and personalities that you just want to see over and over. It just, you can't get enough of just looking and watching how they act. And I know there's a lot of people I know. Will Ferrell was like that for me for a while. I watched his movies like over and over. Austin Powers movies, god damn, those are the greatest, huh? They're just, eventually that you want to go back to that classic humor. And it's funny because everybody now who's like, I'm going to try to write, I'm going to be a writer for a show or something, they're all trying to come up with a new edgy joke. Like, and they're using things like meta comedy and real just
they're hacking apart the hacks is what they're doing, and that's even more hack. So what you end up with is just people that are making like horrible jokes and horrible stories that are meant to have a purpose and a meaning and a twist at the end, but where's the actual story? Like, you're not coming at this from a point of logic. You know what I mean? Like, some of the better movies that I've seen more recently are like some of the more survival related movies where, at the end of the day, that's just how it's going to be. Has anybody seen The Road? In The Road, it's like, that's like a fucking huge fear, bro. Like, there's a part in that where he's laying there and he wakes up and he's like in an icy cave. What's that guy's name? Just, I can't remember his name. He's the guy that plays in Lord of the Rings. Oh, Jesus. Viggo Mortensen. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Anyway, but he's in this cave, right? And it's fucking freezing in there. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. And he wakes up coughing. And he's coughing really hard and he can't stop. He goes out to the edge of the cave. His son's in there sleeping, because they're camping from here on out. That's their life. And he goes out and he starts coughing up blood. Oh, man. Like, there we go. And that's kind of like a deep fear of mine, man. That, like, I won't be able to stay warm enough when I sleep. When I was homeless, man, it was like blanket central, bro. And I couldn't sleep on my back. If I did, my lungs would burn. Just can't sleep on my back and just continuously breathe cold air. So I have limits, man. My lungs have a life of their own. They've got their own story. And they're telling me right now, stop thinking about us. Stop talking about it. They're embarrassed. So they're making me cough. But, I've been going on for a while now, and I'll probably just cut this short. I mean, there's no real way for me to... there's no real way for me to express to you all the things I want to express to you, in an hour, in 45 minutes, and in any real frame of time. Because we're all so complex, and we've all got so many things we want to say. So many things we want to say to each other, you know what I mean? How many people do you know, like, on your social media that you would just like to reach out to and say, hey, I want to chill with you, right? And then have that person just be like, yeah, I'm glad you reached out. How many people do you know that you work with that you're like, you just want to reach out and say, hey, me and you, right? But we don't. We cut everything short. We don't tell everything to everybody. When was the last time you told somebody that you were really hurt, though? That's kind of natural, right? Everybody walks around like with their badge of pain. I have a big goodie bag of pain. It's like Santa Claus sack. And anytime anybody wants to hear some pain, I just reach in and pull it out. You want to hear about dead people? You want to hear about love lost? You want to hear about the true love of having children and watching it get ripped away? You want to hear about losing everything that you ever did in a random
storage locker auction. I'm talking about trying to build everything back up, only to be stopped right at the moment. Because, that's one thing that I can say. I do tend to get at things a little late. Really late, actually. I'm always too late. I mean, I'm ready, but I'm always too late. I think it's a communications issue. We really can't handle all of the different issues and situations that we have because we're not looking at them from the right way. Like, there's a lot of things that I have not been ready for, that I came to too late or didn't make it to, that a little bit of communication beforehand would have avoided that. Would have avoided that. I could have made it. I could have been good. But instead, I missed. I missed it because I have a wandering mind. I have a wandering brain. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm sure I have jumped off of quite a few trains and not gone back as far as what I'm talking about. And there's probably something right now that I really, really need to do. Like, I just really need to do it. Not laundry, but let's just say it's that. A lot of times I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking about what's going on, man. I really feel like we've been made deficient on purpose. They have dumbed us down as far as they could, to the point where even like strong intellectuals of sound physical strength and mind have a tough time being like model human beings. And yeah, I do believe in a structure. I do believe in the model human being. I do believe in, a model citizen. I do believe in, a man, a manly man, and a very womanly woman. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in all things in between as well. Because look at me. I mean, some might call me extremely feminine. But I honestly, I don't feel it. I actually am angry that I appear feminine, that I appear the way I feel. Sometimes. Yeah, not all the time. I'm not self-loathing. But it would be nice if I could just jump into Jason Momoa's body for a little while and just walk around like in a loincloth and just get the adoration. You know what I mean? Just get it. But instead, I'm in Kurt Cobain's body if he had a baby with Dave Grohl. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm a little tiny guy who's kind of like a cool skater. But I stopped skating a long time ago because I broke bones. I broke bones, man, and I just got sick of it, dude. I wasn't like, skate or die! Skate or die, man! No. I was like, live. Anything other than that, like, no. Stop breaking my shoulder. Broke my collarbone twice, bro. Broke my elbow. I broke all of this because I always fucking try to roll on this side, but I'm this side, So whenever I try to roll on this side, blam, I get fucked up. I'm Andy, but I'm not ambidextrous. I can do certain things backwards and forwards, but I can't specifically, like if I'm trying to write, and I write like my name, you know what I mean, down. If I take this hand and I try to write, it's really hard, right, to write this way, unless I'm using this hand as well. So I would have to go
and then I would have it. Even that one I kind of messed up a bit. But it's easy to kind of go backwards and write my name forwards and backwards like mirror style. But I think ambidextrous is when you literally have trained yourself to be just as good on both sides. Like if I can write forwards and backwards with this hand, I should be able to write forwards and backwards with this hand. You know what I mean? If not, I have a favored side. Therefore, I'm not ambidextrous. And what is it with left-handed people, huh? Freaks of nature, aren't they? God, man, they almost like go to the pile with redhead people as far as like supernatural. What's going on with that, huh? Yeah, don't get it twisted, man. Like all these left-handed guitar players that like changed the world. You know what I mean? Jimi Hendrix, left-handed. Kurt Cobain, left-handed. The list goes on and on, by the way, of people who just are left-handed and have what it takes. Is it just like somebody says, oh, he's left-handed and he's playing, and we see it? And is it something about having the guitars facing like this on stage as opposed to like this? Because the headstock on two right-handed guitar players, like his guitar would be like jamming, and the bass player's over here like. So like if the guitar player is a lefty, then they're pointing at each other, like the two guitar and bass neck. So it's like. So maybe that like tricks people. Maybe it makes people think you're really good. I don't know. Because, I mean, both of the guys I mentioned, by the way, who changed the face of music, and they did, Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain, were horrible musicians. I mean, they were good at coming up with the ideas. Don't get me wrong, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it's not like, and I'm not the best musician out there either. But because of that, I can look at other musicians and say, oh, okay. Bar chords. A little bit of and verse, chorus, verse. Jimi Hendrix, was a little different, but he just jammed a lot, and it lacked as far as like having some of the better songs. You know what I mean? Most of what we like about Hendrix is when he jams, and y'all can disagree with me, but most of what I like about Hendrix is when he loses his mind and starts speaking to the gods with his guitar. Because that's what I really think musicians should be out here doing, man. It's like prayer. And the more of us who legitimately sit back and try to give the gods of music something new to chew on, the more powerful they will be. And maybe we can turn this whole political situation around and do what the comedy world's been doing and save the world with music. It's been done before, man. Music has ended conflicts, man. Look it up. Bob Marley. He stopped war with his music. Let's all start making music that we're afraid to put out. Music that sounds like not like what everybody else is doing, but something that sounds like what you want to say. Something that sounds like what you really mean. You know what I mean? Break away from all of the sampled, droning consistency of what's happening right now. And I mean, it's consistently inconsistent on purpose, man. Like some of the biggest stars out there. And let me tell you, I love Lady Gaga, okay? Don't get it twisted. I was saving up to go see her in Vegas. I want to see her show in Vegas so bad. I don't know if that's going to ever happen now. It may never happen. But she's an example of that, where her art is so chaotic, you know? It's so chaotic and disorganized that that it's become kind of like boxed in. You know, it's like a frame around a Van Gogh. You know what I mean? Or an Escher. You have a frame around insanity. You know, you have a frame around like liquid creativity that's just moving and writhing and becoming a whole nother thing. Um, and you know, I think we should be busting out of that. We should be trying to find that new level, that new thing, because everything comes from sound. Everything comes from sound. That's my personal opinion. That that in the midst of nothing, a sound created everything. Look up sonoluminescence. It's a interesting topic, but sound and music, yeah, they carry each other, you know, together perfectly. I mean, music is sound, right? But it's also a vessel for creation in a way that we haven't figured out yet. Like I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like when I'm sitting down at night and I'm coming up with like the things that I come up with, and my cat's staring right at me, right? And like I have this theory that cats were a pet that was brought here by the ancient aliens, you know, and the cats have managed to stay how they are and survive on this planet, albeit at the skin of their teeth. Some of them are horribly treated, you know, but they are like the measure here. Like something is watching us through their eyes, you know, and I just always feel connected. And sometimes I find myself asking the cat to please just call its people back and to take me. just please just call your people back and let us go to fucking, you know, whatever planet we came from. I really do feel a lot of times like I'm from a completely different planet when I'm talking to just random people on the street. And I do talk to people. I do. I talk to people in 7. I talked to somebody in 7-Eleven today and got a little debate going in the line. 4 people got involved. And let me tell you, the coronavirus has us all scared enough to get involved in the conversation in line. Because I tried to do that about a week ago with Jahan, pretend I was getting in a fight with him in line, and nobody interfered. Nobody said anything, right? But here I am today, you know, so far into this coronavirus thing, and I start talking about that in line, and boy, it lit up. I'm sure, like, there was other people that wanted to join in on the conversation too. A lot of people have stuff to say. That's why I'm saying you guys should come here. You guys should brave it, sit down with a microphone, and I am going to try my best during these interviews and during these moments to simply guide and be a little less fucking crazy. Because, yeah, I talk a lot, but anyway, if you're going to come here, you're going to come here to talk to me. And we're gonna get it all out there, everything everybody wants to know. You know what I mean? What's your favorite sushi? If you're a guy, do you ever pee sitting down when you don't have to? If you're a girl, have you ever peed standing up? Aside from squatting, which is standing up, I'll give you that. But it's not the same, you know? Like Step Brothers style, lifting that leg up and just blasting a stream out at an upward acute angle, like a 90-degree angle. Let me tell you, that's one of the best things about being a guy, man, when you pee. Like, I used to have this game I played where I would be peeing, right? And the stream goes way up in the air, and I'd push really hard and see how far I could get the stream. And if it was going far enough, then I would, like, turn my jump and have the stream go over behind me and then come back around. And that was my trick. I called it Under the Stream. Under the stream. Man, I hope that it's better. I hope I don't lose pressure. Or I'll take a drink. Yeah. No, I did piss right on my fucking body and face one time doing that. Like, I just... It was, I got a good laugh from everybody. Yeah. So, yeah, like, if you stuck through to the end here, I'm super excited and happy because it means that I have friends. At least on here, somebody who's listening, and I'm not just wasting my time. That and, you know, it really helps me out, and it will help me out and get me, like, way farther and put you way up at the top of my considerations for being head people in my cult. Haven't decided exactly how that's going to work out yet, but I am starting a cult, which will eventually turn into a Thunderdome. Unless this whole thing ends, and then who knows. But, yeah, go down there, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, man. When you see a video, watch the video. You know, at least stay on for like 10 minutes, you know, help me out. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for attention. I'm an attention whore. I am a drama queen. I need love. I don't have love in my life. I need love. Where did you go? I can't see you in the darkness. Don't rub your eyes, people.